Pierre Claver Gahungu is my name. I'm a refugee from Burundi, now residing in Nakiva Refugee Settlement, village Nyarugugu. I left my country since 2015 due to the political crisis that was taking place in Burundi. Since I came here, after 2 months, I was lucky to be employed by Window International Uganda, and I'm working as a primary teacher at Nyarugugu Primary School. I left my country when I was a senior student in communication faculty, where I was studying, where I was in social sciences, exactly in communication faculty. Once I arrived here, as I said, I started to work with the Window International Uganda since the 1st August 2015. And I was lucky also to get married in 2018. I am now a father. I have one child, a daughter, who is now about to reach 2 years because she was born in December. She was born December 2018. I also have a wife who is now 24 years old. That's all about me. About my income, as a primary teacher who is also a refugee, actually, where I'm working, they normally don't consider our qualifications, and the way we are paid what we call half salary. My salary is 250. When I started, it was 200. Recently, it is when I got some kind of increment, and now I'm getting 250 Ugandan shillings. Actually, if I can get it, it may be so helpful to me because such kind of amount of money per month, it is not really sufficient. It is not enough when you have a family. Actually, my job, it is just from pocket to month. Sometimes we have to struggle and see how we can survive because we find that that amount does not help us to reach the end of the month. And moreover, even if I'm staying with my wife and my daughter, I also have some family members that we fled together that I sometimes needed to help or assist in different things. So that income is not exactly enough to help me to support my family. If only I can be blessed and I get some other kind of income, it may be so beneficial to me.
Do you mean that the other family members are staying with you in the same family, or just you have a size family?
The other family members, we are just staying nearer. We are very close. At the beginning, before I get married, we were staying together. But you know, once you are married, sometimes you need to separate yourself with your family, just to stay with your new family, to make your new family. But it doesn't mean that you have to forget where you are from or the people that you were together. That's why up to now, even if we are separated in terms of houses, because houses are different, but we are staying in the same area, even nearer. We are just still together. We simply don't stay in the same house, but we support one another. The reason why whatever I get, I have to support them. Here we are refugees, and the majority of them, they are jobless, and we even have one who is paralyzed, who has a health problem. Sometimes we are the ones to help in buying medications. We are the ones to help in case his state is not okay. So we don't stay in the same house, but I am also the one to take care.
I would like to maybe emphasize on the monthly income. You mentioned about your salary, and I would like to know if there's no other maybe support from other people like income.
There is no any other support apart from what I do as a, yes, as I told you, I'm a teacher, but I also have somewhere where after work I go and train, especially English course. I have where I teach people, and those ones, whatever they give me as payment, it is what helped me to top up on what I get as salary. So I don't have a side income that comes from different places apart from the other extra job that I do after my work.
Can you help us by describing your day like a teacher? From when do you start your day? You wake up at which time? You do what up to when you go to bed?
Actually, my day looks like this. I normally wake up early in the morning. If I'm precise, I may say that I woke up at 6:30. I mean 6:30 a.m. and I prepare myself. Then I prepare myself. It takes like 30 or 40 minutes. Then at 7:10 a.m. I start my journey going to my work. So most of the time I even leave my home without taking a breakfast because as I said before, sometimes I don't have to keep on relying on those things of breakfast because even my income is not really enough. Moreover, if I say that if I decided to remain at home and wait for the breakfast, it may disturb or it may make me to be late at my work. So then I reach at work at 8 o'clock because we normally start our teachings at 8:30, but you have to be at school at 8 o'clock. And there is a time when you are on duty. When you are on duty, it simply means we have our own way of working, how we divide the tasks. So you may find that you are on duty like 3 times or 2 times in a term. In that case, if you are on duty, it has to be for 1 week. If you are on duty, you have to wake up early. If I'm on duty, I have to wake up at 6 and prepare myself, and I go to school so that I can reach at school very early. In that case, you are the one in charge of everything that is taking place at school, so you have to be at school early so that everything may go on well. And we finish our program, or we work from 8 up to 1 p.m. That is the time that is the time when we go for lunch. Then we come back again at it is a 1 hour lunch time. Then we come back at 2 p.m. There we have to stay at school and teach those who have after lunch classes. They have to remain at school and deal with their programs. Then we get back at home at 5 p.m. Then for me, after 5, it is when I used to go and start my evening businesses where I go and teach people in different areas. Or I also have an association, a Burundian association, which is called Sebuna, where I also help by giving those courses, and I'm there like a volunteer. So It is for 3 days a week. And during other days, like those days, they are those 3 days, they are even days, and even days is when I go to work for money. I finish my day right after delivering my teachings. There I can say sometimes I wake up early in the morning, as I said. I go at work, then I come back for lunch. Sometimes when I see that I've taken long to leave at school, I decided to remain at school. And then I come back at home in the evening, get something to eat, then I go on those issues. I actually used to end my day at sometimes at 8 p.m. or sometimes at 9 p.m. So when I get back at home.
Thank you. Can you tell us what does mean education for you and for your students? The meaning of education, I need to make definition about the value of education in life.
From my point of view, education, the value of education. Actually, education is something that defines us. We normally, let me say that it is easy to know the value of somebody through his education. So education is a key to success. Education, without education, there is some exception where you find somebody who was not educated, but he's successful in his life. But those ones, there are some exceptions. In general, education is a key to success in our life. For example, the value of education, I have seen it simply because when I came here, we are so many young people who left Burundi due to that political crisis, but the majority in here were not lucky to be employed. I was employed at during the second month while here in the settlement, Nakivari settlement. But since that day, I have some friends that we came together, the ones that I found here. Up to now, they are not yet employed. What they are doing, they are just working on their own. Some did not manage to get what to do simply because their level of education is down. Others, what they are doing, they are really some jobs that are so hard. It doesn't mean that mine is very simple. It is also hard, but comparing to what others are doing due to the lack of education, sometimes I can say I'm the luckiest one. I'm the luckiest one simply because I've managed to get what to do and to expect also a permanent salary. It is true that our contract, it is a 1-year contract, but at least you keep on having a hope saying that even if it is a 1-year contract, at least this year saved, I will survive. But those other ones, they are really suffering. We are all suffering, but not to the same level. So to me, education, the value of education, the only thing that can help somebody to change his status, it is education. So if you are not educated, you cannot expect good things in your life. You may get them by chance, but that one, it rarely happens. That's what I can say about education. Education is a key to success in every life.
Yeah, thank you. What are your aspirations for yourself and your students for education?
Really?
In terms of the education, what do you wish for the future? How do you see the future of your students? How do you see the future of your family members in terms of education?
What I wish my learners for the future, as any parent, as any teacher, I just wish them to go far. I wish them all the best in their life. It is true that life is not easy here in a camp. The conditions in which they are studying in, they are so difficult, but all I have to wish them is to toil, to work hard. Despite of all these hard conditions and challenges, life challenges that we are living in this settlement as refugees, I wish them to go so far and to complete their studies and to be successful in their life. It is true that some parents are doing their best to support their children, but it is not really easy. If only they can be supported, like the way UNHCR is helping these refugees in primary school. But I also wish if it can do something more, if it can put in much effort and also help them in secondary school, because the majority of them, they start primary. Once they finish the primary level, they are stuck just there because they don't have enough means or their parents cannot afford secondary school. Secondary school is so expensive. It is not everyone, especially a refugee, who can afford the cost of secondary school. So I wish my learners to not only to end their studies after primary level, but to continue secondary level and even university level, not to be like me who did not complete. But even if I did not complete, I also wish to have a chance of completing my studies. As you can see, I'm still young and I'm still very, very interested by studies. Whenever I can get a chance, I will never allow it to slip through my fingers. I will have to seize it and complete what I have studied, what I have started. So I also wish the same on my learners, to start and complete to the best of their level and maybe become so successful in their life.
Thank you. Can you tell us what are the types of education you see your students are having the biggest need?
The types of education?
In which fields of education do your children have the biggest need?
The types of education in which my children needs the biggest need.
Yeah, what I say, what are their biggest needs in terms of education?
Or in terms of education, their biggest need, first of all, is financial support. Financial support is the biggest need that they have to get so that they may pursue their studies. Simply because, when it is hard for you to get school fees, when it is hard for you to get what to eat after classes, you can easily see that it is also hard for you to pursue your studies, of course. So the biggest need is financial. They just need to be supported financially. If they can be supported financially, if I say to be supported financially, I mean to be given school materials, to be given uniforms, to be given school fees, and also to go to school having in their mind that after classes they will go back home and get what to eat. Just to that financial assistance may help them to live a normal life like anyone else who is studying. So for them, even if they are studying, their conditions in which they are living in is not really favoring them to pursue their studies. So the biggest need is to be supported financially.
Thank you. And what about the kind of education? What do you think it is the education they need the most?
Uh, the education that they need most, mm, seeing how it is hard to get for the one who is supported financially, it is better for him to pursue his studies up to the last level, even master's degree, even maybe being even a professor to the professor title. So for the one who is not well equipped or well supported financially, I think it may be better if they can be helped. They study primary level, they finish secondary level, then they go to those technical schools, so that they may maybe in return help their parent, assist their parent, or assist their brothers or sisters. Because those technical schools, for them, after completing, you may not be employed by the government, but still you can forge your life, you can make your life by maybe being employed by private companies, by being employed, or by making even your own business. Because nowadays, especially for us refugees, it is not easy to be employed by the government. It is not for everyone. It's rarely happened to see a refugee who is employed by the government. Seeing the rate of joblessness here in Uganda, even the nationals, they are jobless. They are jobless, so it is hard for refugee to find a job where a national has failed. So it can be better for them maybe to focus on technical schools, vocational schools.
So you mean in the central, the technical or vocational schools are better, the most needed in the camp than for sciences?
In the camp, vocational schools are the best ones that can help a lot, simply because they open doors to people to create their own businesses or to be employed by private companies.
But do you mean for maybe the majority of students, or just for a stage of age?
I mean the majority of students.
Okay.
I mean the majority of students simply because the majority of students are refugees. And if you try to analyze their living style, it is not on the standard of maybe taking those long courses. It is just on the standard maybe of going to vocational schools, then they start running their businesses and help maybe their relative ones.
So do you think there's some kind of challenge which can be maybe there to fulfill those needs? Why those needs are not solved?
The challenge that is there, that also is contributing on the fact of not maybe achieving or making those you can come back with your question again.
I wanted to know if which challenges do you think the students meet during those needs, they don't meet those needs? Which challenges there?
The challenges that they meet, they meet so that they may not achieve what they are supposed to achieve. It is because simply they are refugees. They are refugees, and their parents, they have nowhere to get means. They have nowhere to get funds. They just rely on what they are given by UNHCR. The majority are jobless, and those who have what to do, they are farmers. And you find where we are staying here in Nakiva Refugee Settlement, sometimes even you may not say that you can rely on what you harvested, simply because it is an area which is a half desert. Farmers, they cultivate, but you find that what they harvest is not enough. Sometimes they even fail to get what they have used when they were cultivating. So their income is too low to support their children. The reason why those children are failing, they are failing to meet their needs.
So thank you. Do you have some maybe, can you give proposal for solution of those challenges? What do you think can help in terms of solving those challenges?
What can help in solving those challenges? The first thing that can help is to help those parents, or is to help people in creating businesses. People have to create businesses. People have to rely on their own and not keep on counting on UNHCR. UNHCR, it is true that they are here to support refugees, but if you try to analyze what they offer as a support is not enough. If they keep on relying on UNHCR, this will not help much. They will keep on maybe complaining or experiencing those bad experiences. So if only they can be supported to create their own businesses, if only we can focus, or if only UNHCR can focus on vocational schools, they help people by training them on how they can stand on their own. They start making their businesses, and they support also those who have businesses, those who have started. But also here in the settlement, there are some CBOs, some community-based organizations that are doing their best to support communities. These ones also, they need to be supported, because what they are doing a great work, but you find that they don't have enough means to fulfill their goals. That's what can be done in order to help these people to improve their way of living.
So if I understood, it's like you tell me there is a need of teaching also parents how to develop their livelihood, how to get involved in the business, in the livelihood improvement, and to support those activities, those who are there to help those families.
Yeah, I just want to mean that these parents, or not only these parents, even the majority of us, they really do not know how to create their own businesses. People need to create their own businesses so that they may not keep on relying on the aid from these humanitarian organizations. So it is really, really needful to help these people to know how to create their businesses, and also to support those who have businesses, these small businesses, because you find people, some they have their project, but they are lacking what I can call capital to start their businesses. So it may be better if they are supported financially, and also not only financially, but also by giving them skills, equipping them with the skills in terms of making their own businesses.
Thank you. Do you have maybe anything that you wish to tell us about education, whatever I didn't discuss?
What I wish to tell you about education, I would like only to tell you that education here in the settlement is very poor. Education is very poor. It is something that really needs to be supported. It is something that needs to be followed up, because if you try to analyze those who are at school, they are not so many comparing to the children that we have here in the settlement. Some are dropouts, others they are studying, but you find the way they study. Imagine you can find a child who attend in the morning, then in the afternoon he's taken to the field, simply because a parent sees that if the child keep on going to school and I don't get someone to support me at the field, not only that he may or she may miss school fees, but she may also miss what to eat. So you see that the condition that we are living in does not also help children to pursue or to do things well in their education. So education needs to be supported, especially for refugees.
Thank you. Finally, the final point is about COVID-19. How do you see the change by COVID-19 in education? You get us in a somehow detailed. What do you see? How do you see the change by COVID-19?
The changes brought by this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, personally, I was even affected. I was affected by this fact that since March 2020, we stopped going to school. We closed the schools here in Uganda, and this was done simply because there was some safe measures that were given by the president of this country. Since we closed the school, it is true that we never stopped to be paid, but it was not easy for us. Again, our children, instead of staying at home as refugees here in the settlement, it was hard to control them. Some kept on loitering, others acquiring some impolite behavior, some behavior which were not really good, and others, they never got a chance of maybe being in the mood of studying. They simply forgot about schools. Now they are there, and moreover, since the majority of jobs or activities that were done in the settlement were stopped, there was a poverty that came into families. Now it was hard to get what to eat. Imagine there is a time the sack of charcoal, which we were used to buy on 30,000 Ugandan shillings, it was raised to the price of 80 or 70,000 Ugandan shillings. So this made people really to live in miserable conditions due to this COVID-19. So we were really affected by this COVID-19, simply because we were no longer going to our work, simply because it was hard to get what to eat, simply because our businesses were closed. As I told you before, that I was used to teach or give some evening courses in English, some evening courses, English courses. I was not able to keep on doing that simply because this COVID-19. We are now experiencing a curfew where you don't have to go back. We don't have to go back home at 9 p.m. So this affected me because I could not go and deal with my evening business. And what I was getting from that evening business could also help me and my family. So now all I could do it was to rely on the salary that I was getting from Window International, Uganda. Thank you.
What about education in general? How the COVID have affected it? But if we see maybe the negative effect.
The impact of COVID-19 on education, it is simply because now after stopping or after closing schools, this year, since March 2020 of this year, since March 2020, children are at home, and again, now we are in September. I'm not expecting that they are going to resume schools and be promoted this year. So this year seems to be or seems to be considered as a blank year, because if you try to see the amount of time that we are remaining with, we not enhance learners or even teachers to teach children and finish the program. It is simply hard to end the program within this short period that we are remaining with. So this makes me to conclude by saying that this year seems to be a blank year. We may try our best, but I'm not expecting much within this period. So in general, the schools or education was affected simply because this year seems to be a dead year.
I think we can, as you have concluded, what you can from there.
Thank you very much.
For